In your physical brain, there is a nodal point, a nodule, that you refer to as the pineal gland. This is, in many ways, accurately represented by your society, by those who have recognized that they euphemistically call it the seat of the soul. What this means is, it is the interface. It is the neurological, neurochemical interface that allows for the translation of higher vibrational information into the brain in such a manner that then physical mind has access to it and can use that information to create a physical experience. How does this work? I will tell you. Thank you. The idea is that your pineal gland creates certain neurochemical transmitters. Primarily among them are what you call dimethyltryptamine, serotonin, and melatonin. The idea is that dimethyltryptamine is the primary one. It is vibrationally keyed to receive higher frequency vibrations. When those higher frequency vibrations, in a sense, are, shall we say, directed at the brain by the higher mind, directed into the brain, the pineal gland regulates the quantity of dimethyltryptamine, what you have euphemistically called DMT in your society, which is naturally produced in the brain, and it regulates the amount of that dimethyltryptamine that is appropriate for the reception of that information and the amount that is appropriate for the focusing of the physical mind in physical reality. So let us be clear about what is happening here. The pineal gland regulates this molecule and its vibration to determine exactly how and to what degree you are or are not focused in physical or non-physical reality. It is the gatekeeper. It is the regulator. It is the tuning dial for how much you are focused in physical or how much you are focused in non-physical reality. So the first level of reception is that this substance, dimethyltryptamine, receives the vibration of the higher information. Then also, where and when necessary, translates that vibrational energy into other neurochemical transmitters such as serotonin, melatonin, and along with dimethyltryptamine, in a sense, dumps these neurotransmitters into your cerebrospinal fluid, into your bloodstream, into the cells of your brain, into the cells of your body, in such a manner as to then set up the template neurochemically and then neuroelectrically to represent the idea of that information in neurochemical, neuroelectric form. Once it has been translated by these neurotransmitting chemicals in a neuroelectric, neurochemical form, then the physical mind has access to that information. Thus then the physical mind receives that experience as the experience of inspiration, imagination, thought patterns, so on and so forth. But also, it then takes that information and applies it in whatever way, shape, or form it has already applied such information before with respect to crystallizing or solidifying patterns of that information. These crystallizations, these solidifications of patterns of information that the physical mind has received before, that it has decided are appropriate or pertinent or relevant to it, are called belief systems and definitions. So, the idea of the crystallized belief systems thus then also will affect the efficacy of your ability to download that information, because you will always pass that information after it has been translated from higher frequency energy into neurochemical, neuroelectric patterns. You will always pass that information through the crystallized belief systems within the artificial personality construct that have been set up, and those belief systems will then regulate to what degree you actually have the ability to access that higher frequency information, more or less, depending upon the nature of the belief. that has been crystallized within the personality construct, within the physical mind. This is why it is so important to allow yourself clarity of belief system, clarity of how you define things in your physical reality experience. Because if you have certain kinds of belief systems that are constrictive, conditional in that sense, negative in that sense, mechanically speaking, they can limit your ability to actually perceive higher frequency energy being downloaded from your higher mind. And thus then they can make it seem as if you are incapable of receiving the guidance that is necessary for you to move through life in an effortless way, in a creative way, in a loving, joyful, exciting way. So the first stage always, because you are ensconced as physical personalities in physical reality experience, is to always get a handle on what your beliefs and definitions are about life, to make sure they are in alignment with what you prefer to believe and not contrary to it, that they are in alignment with your true natural vibration, which is really much closer to the higher frequency we're talking about, and thus then allow yourself to be capable of receiving that information in a much clearer and, shall we say, more original form. Now, the idea is that this can be enhanced in other ways as well, along with clarifying your belief systems to increase your sensitivity to higher frequency energy and thus receive those transmissions more in their natural form. Along with that, you can also, once again, do certain kinds of permission slip exercises that take advantage of the fact that you have this pineal interface in your brain. So, while working on your belief systems, not instead of, but in addition to working on your belief systems, you can also work directly with the pineal gland to allow it to produce the appropriate amount of dimethyltryptamine, serotonin, and melatonin that will be representative of the kind of neurochemical, neuroelectric transmission templates that are more clearly representative of the original transmission, so that the physical mind receives that without so much filtering. One way to do this is as you go to sleep, because the idea of DMT, melatonin, serotonin work very strongly in the nighttime hours, especially at what you call your 3 a.m. hour. You can, before you go to sleep, focus on the idea of your third eye, what you call the pineal gland, your third eye, metaphysically speaking, and allow yourself to focus on it. Allow yourself to feel the idea of that neurochemical being produced by that pineal gland, the regulator. Allow yourself to see that little nodule, or feel that little nodule, or hear that little nodule. However it works for you, relaxing and producing the appropriate amount of these neurochemical transmitters that will allow for more clarity in opening up those interdimensional windows, to allow you to perceive more purely the higher frequency energy that is being downloaded to you by your higher mind all the time. And thus then, by focusing on that and allowing it to produce the appropriate amount necessary for clarity and balance between the non-physical and physical realities that you are experiencing, you can bit by bit, either quickly or slowly, whatever is the appropriate rate for you, begin to feel more and more inspiration coming, more and more imagination working, more and more of your inner vision opening up with clarity, with brightness, with brilliance, with color. And you can begin to work more smoothly in conjunction, in a relationship with your higher mind. Remember this also about the idea of downloading. We hear often many of you asking, in a sense praying for, wishing for, asking for. Sometimes some of you will come to us or other beings or entities and say, "You have my permission to give me information." Well, yes, we know that. We are always, creation is always sending all that it can send. If you feel you are not receiving, it's not because it's not being sent. It's because you are interfering with the reception. So the idea is that if you want to receive more, become a better receiver. And you become a better receiver, a clearer receiver, by being willing to trust that that information is there to serve you, by clarifying your beliefs, by getting in touch with the idea of how those neurotransmitters are structured in your brain, and trusting the higher mind knows what it's doing as a guide.
Will letting go of the guilt allow me more access to my third eye?
Of course. Do you think that guilt is part of the idea of opening up your third eye?
No.
All right. Then open the door and understand that, again, even if you make what you typically call a mistake, you now know you don't have to feel guilty about it because you're willing to learn the lesson that helps you bring yourself back into alignment.
In reference to the third eye,
Yes, the pineal gland.
does that open when that energy, the Kundalini energy, rises?
Well, it does, but it also opens every time you drink. But the idea of accelerating that can be accelerated by raising your frequency and give you more opportunity to produce more DMT chemically, which will allow your body in its waking state to be more receptive and perceptive of higher dimensional frequencies and realms. Make sense?
Yes. Okay. I had this experience of my third eye opening,
Yes.
and it really felt just like it was blinking and
Yes.
very intense. And
Yes.
I guess my question is, how is the way to keep that open or in touch with that the most is simply by following our joy?
Well, remember the entire formula, please. Many people on your planet love to remember, act on your passion, follow your joy, act on your bliss, and they completely and conveniently, shall we say, trash the rest of the formula.
Okay.
Remember the whole formula. Act on your highest passion to the best of your ability, taking it as far as you possibly can until you can take it no further, and with absolutely no assumption, insistence, or expectation as to what the outcome ought to be. That's the whole formula. Make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then it will work for you.
Okay.
Good day, Bashar.
How do you good day?
Okay, so my question is, when we're born into this reality, why is it that we forget our past lives? And how is it that we can remember more of our past lives?
All right, well, first of all, you forget your past lives because you don't have any. None of you do. Everything exists at once. The past is an illusion. What you're calling past lives, you call that because you're coming from a linear space-time frame of reference. The idea is that you make those connections to other simultaneous incarnations that exist exactly at the same time you do. When you come from the present, you make those connections. You say, I need to make this connection, I need to make this connection, I need to download information and experience from that person in that life, and that person in that life, and that person in that life. From my perspective, they may seem to have lived 300 years ago. From this perspective, they may seem to be living 300 years in the future, but these are the connections I need to make from the present in order to download the information I need to help me with my theme in this life, just as they may be doing the same with me to download information that helps them with the themes they're exploring in their lives. It all happens in the present. There's no such thing as a past life in that context. Do you understand?
Yes.
But the bigger question is answered this way. You forget so that you can remember from a new perspective. Because if you only exist in a timeless state, there's no change, there's no growth, there's no difference. You have to forget who you are to remember who you are from a new point of view, to discover something new about yourself. Because you see, the structure of existence never changes. It's eternal, it's infinite. It's always the same structure. It's existence itself. What changes, what expands creation, is that your perspective and experience of the structure keeps changing. Now I'm looking at it from this point of view. Now I'm having this experience of the structure. Now I'm seeing it this way. Now I am this perspective. That's what expands creation infinitely. The structure never changes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you have to forget who you are to remember who you are from another point of view to add to the sense of who you are and grow. Yes?
Yes.
So the only perspective, let's say, that you could come from where you could say, yes, this is my life, and that is my life, and that is my life, is from the oversoul perspective, because all those lives are extensions, quite often, of the same oversoul. But as a person, on this level, you are you. You have never been anyone else, and no one else ever has become you. Because the very idea of being an individuated person, persona, an individual soul, is that you are an individual and you remain so, because you're unique. That's a unique experience. You can create the experience as if you have had other lives, reincarnation, and so on and so forth. But that's not mechanically what's happening. All the lives already exist. But your consciousness can shift in ways to give you an experience as if you're remembering another life you had. But that's just a perspective of linear space-time. Is this making sense?
It is. But then how does karma carry over from...
It doesn't. That's the point. The belief that it does is what allows you to experience that it does. When you understand that it's just a belief and it's just about being in balance with who you prefer to be, then there is no karma. So in a sense, you have balanced your karma by getting to a point where you realize that there really isn't any karma and it's just about being in the state you prefer to be in. Does that make sense?
It does.
Now, you may also be referring to the idea that when you set up a theme in life to explore, you do create a kind of destiny. You do create a kind of momentum, certain kinds of things that you must explore as part of that theme. And if you want to refer to that as karma, you can. But it's not really coming from the past lives. It's coming from the present in the sense that it's simply representative of the challenges you need to face to explore this theme fully. So you work with the idea of destiny or karma and free will both together in a certain way. In spirit, you could say, this is the theme I'm going to explore, and there you are. That's the hallway you will walk down. Now, how you walk down that hallway, that destiny, that karma, that challenge, that theme you're exploring is up to your free will. You can run, you can walk, you can fly, you can jump, you can be happy, you can be sad, you can go upside down, right side up, you can go backwards, you can be forwards, you can go side to side, look in every door, ignore them all. That's your free will about how you will walk down that karmic hallway, that hall of destiny. But walk down that hallway, you will. Although, in your modern day and age, because you are expanding your consciousness more and more and more and more, one of the options that's now available to you is to actually change your theme without dying. You can finish one theme, you can finish one hallway, one destiny, one karmic route, and actually create another while you're still alive. More flexibility, more malleability, more freedom is now a choice on your palette, a new color for you to choose. Yes? Is this making some sense? Is this helping?
Yes. And I've got one more question.
I beg your pardon?
I've got one more question.
I beg your pardon?
I've been to a psychic before, and I'm always in awe in what they know because I always start without telling them anything. How is it? What is the mechanism of where they get their information?
Who?
Psychics.
Understand there is no such thing as a prediction of the future.
Yes.
They're simply sensitive people who are picking up on the vibrations of the present that seem most probable to keep going in the same direction if the momentum doesn't change. They're simply reading the energy of the present and letting you know what it is so that if you like it, if you like where it's going, you can simply stay on that path. But if you don't prefer it, you can change the path, thus rendering the psychic prediction obsolete.
Yes.
The idea of being psychic is simply being sensitive to more energies, higher frequency energies, and translating them through, in a sense, into language that others can understand. It's like being some form of, shall we say, electronic instrument that can pick up on certain vibrations that you can read in the needle being the language. Yes?
Yes.
So that's all. But as you follow your passion, as you do that to the best you are able, as you do it with no insistence on a particular outcome, you increase your sensitivity to higher frequency information.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. An example of that idea is the way our society functions in pure synchronism. Everyone is exactly where they need to be, when they need to be there, with whom they need to be. And the idea is that we don't really function on memory. We simply know what we need to know when we need to know it. It's as simple as that. No different than the idea of being psychic. It's just being in tune with what you need to know at that moment because you're in tune with more of yourself. Yes?
Yes.
Does that help?
Yes.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
So on the way here, driving to Sedona yesterday, I came down with a really heavy fever.
Oh, how exciting.
Yeah.
What are you burning off?
That's what I was wondering if you could help enlighten.
Well, are you letting go of outdated, old belief systems, negative belief systems? Are you in the middle of that process? Or is that something that you are desiring to do?
I believe I am.
All right.
Constantly.
Well, sometimes you will accelerate the process that way, and with the extra energy you're using, it can translate into what you would experience as a fever.
I see.
You follow?
Yes.
It means you're receiving higher frequency energy. You may not be allowing it to flow as readily as it could. There may still be some resistance in there. And when you have resistance, let's say, for example, in a wire, what happens?
Shorts.
It heats up.
Heats up. Yeah.
So if there is resistance to the higher energy that you're making connections to, because you haven't necessarily cleaned your attic out yet of negative belief systems, fear-based belief systems that you're working on letting go of, it can translate into the idea of some of these kinds of symptoms. It's a typical thing when you channel higher energies for these kinds of symptoms to come up. They'll abate when you allow yourself to let go of the things that don't work for you, streamline yourself, and allow the higher energies to flow through you more freely by becoming more superconductive. Yes?
I see.
Does that help?
It does. Thank you.
Anything else?
Yes. One other question in regard to language and reference points.
Yes.
It's my understanding when we dream, we could be on ships, we could have different experiences, we could be figuring things out, but our memories of these dreams are still sort of translated into our modern day or
symbols that your physical mind can understand to explain or express it. Yes.
Right. So what happens when we die? Are we able, or do we get lost, or what if there's
get lost?
Not
no,
lost.
You get found.
Get found. I guess reference point wise, if we don't have the reference point or the language, how do we make sense of it all?
Well, remember that language is a secondary translation of the idea of the expression of concept within consciousness. So you simply immediately have an understanding. You might call it telepathy, you can call it what you want, but you have an immediate recognition and understanding of concepts that come to you whole. There is no need for the translation through language anymore because you're getting the concept directly in your vibrational state. Because that's the first way that information is delivered, is simply through resonance, through vibration of energy.
I see.
Does that make sense?
It does. Is there a way to have that direct experience?
Of course, you have it all the time. Have you never experienced the idea of what you people typically call an immediate gestalt or a download or an aha moment where you just get it?
Absolutely, yes.
That's what it's like. You just get it. It's just all there.
Are there any techniques we can do to just get the dreams?
Follow your highest passion to the best you are able with no insistence on the outcome, and everything that needs to happen for you will happen in the correct timing. That's the formula. That's the tool. Yes?
Yes, understood.
Does that help?
It does. Thank you.
Thank you. The question, what is my purpose in life? Passion is your purpose in life. Your purpose is passion. What does that mean? It means that passion and all of its expressions, excitement, happiness, joy, creativity, love, are all different ways of expressing the vibration of your true natural self, what we call your signature frequency. Your signature frequency is that resonant energy, that vibration that is unique to you, that identifies you as a unique aspect of all that is of creation. And the way you apply that signature frequency through passion is to act on your highest excitement to the best of your ability, with no insistence or assumption as to what the outcome ought to be, as to what to come to fruition, but to allow the synchronicity in your life to present to you the opportunities that contain that excitement so you can recognize it, because excitement is the compass needle that points to your magnetic north. And by acting on it to the best of your ability, you will bring about in your life what we call the complete kit. You will allow it to work for you. And you will discover very readily, very easily, that excitement can function in your life as the driving engine, as the organizing principle, as the path of least resistance, as the thread that leads to all other expressions of excitement, and as the reflective mirror that will reveal to you what may be within you that is out of alignment with that excitement, so you can identify it and bring it back into alignment and expand your excitement in that way. And simply by following that formula of acting at every moment to the best of your ability on your highest excitement, with no insistence on how the outcome should look, you will activate that complete kit, and it will work for you automatically, effortlessly, every moment, without fail, as it's working for you now. But the idea is to not use the mechanism of creation to reinforce the things that are out of alignment with your preferred self, your natural self, your true self, but to use the very same mechanism to reinforce what is in alignment with who you prefer to be. As you allow yourself to move forward in that way, your life will become an ecstatic explosion of synchronicity, very magical. Things will begin to happen all around you, because magic is, again, the true nature of existence. Miracles are the natural order of things, not the exception. And you can experience more and more of that miraculous magic the more you are in alignment with your natural energy, with your natural flow. Your willingness to act this way in life is a commitment that you make to yourself that leads you to the understanding that there is, in fact, a fundamental principle to this idea of acting on your passion. But before we get to that, let us give an example, shall we say, of how this concept can be practically applied in your physical reality, by using the example of some form of project or business or career that may excite you, that you may be very attracted to, and demonstrate at every step, at every point, how to allow yourself to stay in alignment with that energy. So first and foremost, of course, the principle itself of passion, being that you need to act on those things that really are representative and reflective of that highest excitement, that joy, that creativity. Now, of course, again, please remember that excitement doesn't mean that you have to be jumping up and down, running around, as you say, with your hair on fire. But the idea is that it can be experienced as bliss, as a state of balanced peace as well. There are many expressions of the idea of passion and excitement. Those, and also compassion, being one of them. But as you allow yourself to experience this excitement, this bodily, physical translation of that vibrational energy that is your signature frequency. And you thus gravitate and attract yourself to some project, business, career, or what have you, or even just moment to moment, step by step. First and foremost, make sure that the project, I'll just use that term for now, is truly representative of your highest passion in all ways. In all ways, so that you do it in the way that is most exciting, so that it is really reflective of your excitement in all of its aspects. That it is, in all of its components, truly aligned, truly being experienced, truly being created, truly being laid out with that passion in mind, so that you are doing it where you wish to do it that's most exciting, with whom you wish to do it that's most exciting, which leads you to the idea of another principle of passion, and that is, after passion, after project, then there is preparedness. Be prepared. Learn the things that are germane, that will give you the skills, that will give you the abilities to follow up on your passion. And again, as we said, there is no need to be afraid that some of the things that are required that you might need to learn would have to be learned in any other way other than the way that's most exciting. Many of you have this misunderstanding that just because you have to learn something in order to better enable you to act on your passion, that somehow the learning of that thing is outside of your passion. Nothing could be further from the truth. There is always a way. If you truly need to learn something, if you truly need to develop a skill that will give you a better ability to act on your passion, there is always going to be a way that's the most exciting way you can learn that thing. So please don't create contradictory definitions within your excitement by assuming that you can act on your excitement, but that the thing you need to learn to do it best would actually be not exciting. That's a contradiction in the definition of excitement. Anything that you truly need to learn must, by definition, be capable of being learned in a way that is equal to the excitement of the thing itself. If you want to look at that as an equation and a formula, go ahead. But that's the way it works. Your definition of excitement must be clear and self-consistent so that you don't have contradictory and conflicting definitions within your consciousness about what your excitement is or what other areas of your life it extends into that would somehow be contrary to that excitement, which it cannot be if it's a true definition. If you find that there is conflict, if you find there's contradiction, then it is important to realize that you may not have a clear definition of excitement, and it's time to refine that, time to examine it, time to explore it, time to make sure it's all lined up, and that all the definitions you're using for the things you really need to do are being defined in the most exciting way possible. After you know that this is your passion, after the project is designed by you to be expressed in the most exciting way, after you have attracted to yourself the idea of all the things you need to learn to be prepared in the most exciting way, then the next, after passion and project and preparedness, is people. Attract to yourself all the best people who are equally excited about what it is you are doing, who you wish to work with side by side, who you wish to collaborate with. Because again, doing what excites you the most must not only be done where it's most exciting, how it's most exciting, but with whom it's most exciting. And if those people do not exhibit the same passion, the same compatible vibration, they may not be the ones that really need to be aligned with you or you with them. Do not fear to allow yourself to recognize that things may be vibrationally incompatible with some individuals, because by allowing yourself to only align with those who are vibrationally compatible with your passion and you with theirs, you are thus allowing more synchronicity to occur, more magnification and amplification and acceleration to occur. And you're also doing a favor a loving favor to those who are not vibrationally compatible by letting them go their own way. Because then you are allowing them to find what is truly exciting for them instead of holding them to something that may not really be exciting for them. Allow yourself to make sure that arena is also clear and clean. And finally, in this 5-part idea, after passion, after project, after preparedness, after people, is persistence. The idea of following through, of taking action in all the ways that need to be taken, all the way out, all the way through. And again, there is absolutely nothing about these ideas of persistence and these ideas of taking action and following through that has to be in any way contradictory to the vibration of your excitement and your passion. There will always be a way to do that. And again, in some senses, it is self-reinforcing, because if you truly, truly, truly are passionate about what it is you're taking action on, then you will persist, because nothing else excites you more than this. And that brings about its own persistence. And this brings us to the true underlying fundamental principle of passion. And that is, you have brought yourself to a place where there is no other choice. Period. You ensure that you don't create reasons that are contradictory to the idea of your passion. You don't create any other choice that seems as exciting, as reasonable, as logical for you to persist on. The idea of following through and persistence will come automatically with your passion when you allow yourself to recognize truly that you've arrived at a place where there is no other choice in that moment but that thing that is representative at that moment of your highest joy, your highest passion. Don't create reasons to do things that are outside of that vibration. Now, that being said, as has been said, certainly you have to honor your belief system as it exists in that moment. Because if you really do believe that your excitement can't support you, and you believe you need to hold on to the things that you're doing that are not necessarily representative of your highest excitement, but you believe you need them in order to support yourself in life, then honor your belief system and don't let go of those things until you yourself are absolutely certain, absolutely know, at whatever rate you're comfortable, at whatever pace works best for you, that your excitement can in fact support you. But at least give yourself the chance, at least give yourself the opportunity. Every single opportunity you can act on that is representative of your excitement, act on it to the best of your ability with no insistence on the outcome. And bit by bit, by bit by bit, and day by day by day, you will allow your excitement to demonstrate to you, to prove to you that more and more every day in every way it actually will bring about the synchronous opportunities and the synchronous circumstances that will be capable of supporting you in some way, shape, or form, as long as you are willing to open up your definitions of what support means. Because again, excitement being a complete kit will bring you the type of support that is truly necessary at that moment, even though it may be very different looking than the type of support you're used to receiving or that your society has taught you think you need in order to go to the next stage or the next level. The type of support that needs to be there to allow you to continue to act on higher and higher levels of your excitement will be there if you allow yourself to understand, again, how not to have a contradictory definition of excitement and understand it as a complete kit. And by complete, we mean complete, which means it leaves nothing out that you truly need. This is how the mechanism works. And the real fundamental principle, when you finally get to the point of acting on your passion because there is simply no other choice for you, you will accelerate at such a rate and your life will become so ecstatic and so magical and things will appear before you in such a synchronistic way that you will think you are dreaming, which you are. But you will be experiencing it in the physical dream. And it will be one more way that you can demonstrate and prove to yourself that you are creating your reality, that your definitions in your conscious mind, in what makes up your personality structure, are the foundations that determine how you experience yourself in reality, as reality, how it's reflected to you. And as you get a handle on understanding that those definitions are the blueprints, and as you allow yourself to change your definitions to be more in alignment with your passion, more representative of how you prefer to define your life, yourself, your circumstances, then again you create more and more alignment, more and more harmonics within your experience of reality. And you can use whatever feelings may come up when the kid of excitement may show you something, may reveal something in you that might be out of alignment with your passion, with your true vibration. You can use those harmonics. You can use that assurance that if you change your definitions, you'll bring it back into alignment. You use your feelings, you use your emotions to trace back to what definitions must be true in order for you to have those feelings, because no feeling can be had without a definition first. And the more you understand and apply this, and truly, truly understand that this is a description of the mechanism of creation itself, and use it from that perspective, then again, the more everything will flow, the smoother everything will be. It's really that simple. Simple as coming down to the realization and the understanding that there is no other choice for you. And you don't have to invent any other reasons to do something other than that. You don't have to buy into any definitions that are out of alignment with what you prefer. That's really the simple principle, the fundamental principle underlying passion, is that you are making a decision, you are making a choice, and that choice is this and nothing else that is not representative of your highest joy, of your highest frequency. And again, at whatever rate is comfortable for you. But that's how it works. Does that make sense to you? Yes. Is that something you think you can get passionate about? Many people on your planet, when they begin to experience more synchronicity, when they begin to attract and manifest in their lives something that they need, something that is representative and reflective of their preference, of their joy, of their excitement, will often look at the idea very briefly and suddenly and instantaneously and immediately go, but what else is there? Is there more? Let's get more. Let's expand it. Now, the idea is that you need to be in the present with anything that manifests as best as you possibly can. And by experiencing a manifestation of something that you prefer and immediately looking for what else you can get, what else you can manifest, how much more you can attract, you're actually kind of missing the point. Because when you manifest, it is simply the act of arriving at a frequency, creating a frequency within yourself that allows something that has already always been here to simply become visible to you. When you talk about the idea of attraction, you're never actually attracting something from somewhere else to where you are. Everything that you can possibly need, anything that is relevant in your lives is already right here with you, because there is only here. There is only now. Therefore, everything that you will need in your life is here right now. It may not be visible to you right now. It may not seem to physically manifest right now because it may not be the appropriate timing for it. But if you allow it to manifest in the way it was designed to manifest, automatically and synchronistically, then you will see that it will manifest if it is relevant and necessary in your life for something that you truly need, something that is truly your preference. It will manifest in the perfect timing. But the way you go about this and allowing this to happen in the most magnified and accelerated way is by using this AAA formula. And the AAA stands for acknowledge, appreciate, and then allow. And it goes something like this. When you have manifested something that is reflective of your joy, your excitement, your preference, stop. Don't ask for more. Don't look for more. Don't at that moment attempt to expand or increase it. saying, what else can it be? Can I have this much more? Can I go here? Can I do that? Can it be bigger? Can it be other than this? Stop. Take a moment and allow yourself to acknowledge what you have just been given. Take that moment. It's very important. It's absolutely crucial because it will bring you back into the present. It will keep you in the now moment to acknowledge what just happened, what you have just manifested, that you have just allowed yourself to create a vibrational frequency within your being that now matches that thing and allows that thing to become visible to you. That's what manifestation is. So take that moment, take that pause, and acknowledge what just happened. Don't rush ahead. Don't look for more. Don't be on about the business of looking into the future to see what else you can get. Stop. Take a moment and acknowledge what just happened. Then, when you have acknowledged the manifestation that has just occurred, that is in the direction of your preference, it may not be all of it all at once, but if it's in the direction of your preference, after you have acknowledged that that is so, it's a recognition that something has just happened, an acknowledgement. And once you recognize it, then take the next moment and appreciate it. Appreciate what you now have as fully as you can. Go into a state of gratitude, into a state of grace, into a state of deep appreciation for what you now are experiencing. Again, this keeps you in the moment, and it not only keeps you in the moment, it adds energy to the entire process that is very, very powerful, because appreciation is a very powerful energy. It is a state of grace. It is a state not only of acknowledgement, but recognition, and also the ability to allow that energy to start really expanding into all areas of your life. Because what you're doing is you are appreciating not only that manifestation, but yourself as well. And as you appreciate yourself and you become equal to that manifestation through appreciation, it starts to expand and go into every facet of your life. And that is when you then can allow whatever else needs to manifest more synchronistically, in a more accelerated way, allowing you to experience growth and change in a positive and constructive and exciting way in a much, much more accelerated fashion. So please remember the 3 A's: acknowledge, appreciate, and then allow what needs to happen to happen. You don't need to force it to happen. You don't need to manipulate your reality. You don't need to make it happen in any way, shape, or form. Once you have acknowledged what just happened, and once you appreciate as fully as you can what you now have experienced, then all you need to do is allow those 2 factors to work for you. Allow their energy to expand and increase, and allow what the next thing is that needs to happen to happen. It may not always be what you think, but it will always be what you need. It may not always be what you want, but it will always be what you need. And if you understand that it is always what is truly relevant for you, truly what you need, truly representative of your high vibration of acknowledgement and appreciation, then you can know with absolute certainty that whatever the next manifestation is exactly what it needs to be to take you to the next level, to accelerate your life in the most positive way, to bring you the next opportunity and experience and challenge in your life that will allow you to open more doors and experience more and more and more of who you truly are, which is the entire point of this life. That's your purpose, to experience more and more and more, to remember more and more and more of who you truly are. And through this 3-part mechanism of acknowledging and appreciating and allowing, without manipulating, without making it work, without forcing it, just relaxing into that energy and really feeling it as fully as you can, then you will see a marked increase in synchronicity, a marked acceleration of manifestation, and you will start to fall into this idea. It will become first nature for when anything manifests for you to stop, and live in it. Live in that moment. Don't be in a hurry to get anywhere else. Don't be in a hurry to have more than what you've just manifested. Whatever needs to come will come. And again, it will come in the most accelerated and synchronistic way if you just sit with what you have just manifested. Because one step leads to the next, and it already knows how to do that. You don't need to help it. Just let it do its job. Let the mechanism work. That's how it works. It always works. It automatically works. This is just physics we're talking about here, but we are illuminating a specific way to approach allowance with the other two qualities of acknowledgement and appreciation that will amp it up and magnify it and shoot it off into your life just like a rocket. And things will start to explode and become ecstatic more and more and more and more if, of course, you believe you can handle that much ecstasy, that much synchronicity, that much joy in your lives. For if you find yourself then balking at the acceleration, balking at the amplification, again, stop. And at that moment, acknowledge what it is that's happening and appreciate what it is that's happening, even if it's not exactly what you believe you prefer, because it is there for a reason for you to investigate why you are reacting the way you are reacting. Get in touch with whatever belief system is generating that particular reaction. Find out what it is consciously, and when you believe it doesn't serve you anymore, to let it go and add that energy to your joy and your excitement to increase and amplify and magnify that acceleration, and allow yourself to continue along that path of manifesting your dreams, manifesting your true self, manifesting your preferred reality. Does this make sense to you? Yes. All right. So please remember to use that three-part formula. Take your time. Allow yourself to live in the now moment. Really, really experience acknowledging what you already have. Please appreciate what you already have. And then just allow what else needs to come to come. It will.